too long. But if I reach 50 likes, I will do a live on this channel. So yeah, I'm a part of the House of ATTON, means the ancient Tehuti and teaching of the Neteru. Please like and subscribe. I also do one-to-ones. And currently I'm a student of my Saba. Saba means the door. My Saba teacher that also has a class today, later on Killah pre-show, where you can send in reciprocity, Hotep, and he will answer a question according to the indigenous people, what they said themselves. Because nowadays it seems like the indigenous people didn't have their own voice, they didn't have a culture, they didn't have writing. When all these things came from our ancestors. So, it's a beautiful time, especially for me. I mean, I've been studying the Neteru currently for going on now 4 years. And being a lone wolf is not really that easy to I mean, it is easy, but not getting the support only from because most of the people that I vibe with are in different areas of the world. But besides that, I know the word alone also means all one. So I know also that the invisible is really the first existence, our first home, where you according to the ancestors, and you could check it out. Tehuti had classes that people sent reciprocity and questions in to tell you, to explain about karma, which is your energy that you're born with, and that you have to peka mku, separate from your negative thoughts. So yeah, let me just say one a henu and send up one of our saltations that we do, which is Anki and Ma'at, Un NS, Nintet Oset and Ma'at, Min Hepepet and Ma'at, Her and Hu, Kui, Per Iku. And that means I live for Ma'at, I exist within her. A lot of people don't know that originally it was feminine, because the feminine is the one that gives birth to all things, and it's non-gender. And I'm talking about the non-gender in this world today. I'm talking about the non-gender in regards to ants, spiders, trees, rocks, the creation, nature, what our ancestors, the Neteru, learned from. So it's Anki Ma'at, I live for Ma'at, I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness, and I come forth as conscious light. So Henu and Dua. Henu, the hen is also representative of the female, the masculine phallic symbol, who represents resurrection. But I know today most people are using these symbols for isfet. What today you want to, they transferred it to evil, thinking that there's a negative, there's a being, a so-called being that is the primary power of negativity, which is incorrect. According to our ancestors, if you go into the papyrus and read that and also go and check out Tehuti live podclasses, that you'll see according to what our ancestors says, not according to your opinion, not according to the New Age, not according to being a Hebrew or Hebrew Israelite, but according to what our ancestors that predated here in so-called Africa, because Africa is really only a province. It's only a province. It's an area in this so-called continent, what we call, our ancestors called Tar represent the land. because all these terms are European colonization terms that we adopted through slavery, through it being branded and put upon us physically as melanated people, and also other races as well that that do know about Ma'at as well. I say Hanu and Dua as well, because the land of Egypt, so-called, what they call in what the Bible is being very racist. Yeah, there is racism in the Bible. Yeah, because them putting in the Bible that the Egyptians were evil and they worship the devil and all this stuff is incorrect. It's really the other way around. But the only way you can find that out is when you do your own research. And our ancestors were so beautiful, man. Were so nefer, because of them. That's the reason why we have all these great inventions and mathematics and science. And I remember earlier I was just talking to a person earlier, and they was telling me that that black people didn't have anything to do with the roads in South Africa because of a video I put up. And that's incorrect, because before the European civilization, you had kingdoms all over so-called Africa that had civilizations and they built roads, yes, before these modern day roads that you see today. But the point, I just want to just touch on that, on the subject about that did the Neteru, what the Greeks, because remember the Greeks, they came and they sat at the feet of our ancestors, and they learned the what they changed to hieroglyphics, which was the Medu Neter, the words of the Neter that they were taught. And our ancestors, it wasn't like how it is today, like what you're seeing on today, that people will do anything because they've been given $1, or it's unfortunate that people don't know their self-worth and don't know how powerful you really are according to our ancestors. And our ancestors, the school teacher, their school teacher, the Neteru, who we are the embodiment of now, studied nature. That's why, according to Tehuti, most of the Medu Neter, the hieroglyphics, is animals. Like a lot of you, I know a lot of you think that like meditation comes from China or India, when according to our ancestors, they learned from the baboon. The posture, the seating position that you sit when you meditate comes from the baboon, which is also Tehuti as well. And Tehuti today, what you call in the Bible is AAH, which is Yah. So we don't have to only go into the religious text to understand nature. If you really want to, now is the time for you to start knowing, like it says in the Bible, that you are the temple. And fortunate enough for me that I was once very, very dedicated into Christianity. When you read in Acts, the 13th chapter, it says that the Israelites love to use, it says Niger. The Niger is in so-called Africa. And in Acts 13, how is it written Niger? That right there shows you that there's something going on wrong. Because those terms came around in the time of the Berlin Conference, when they put up Tarzan, the savior of Africa, which was a fallacy. That was just the Greeks I mean, sorry, not the Greeks, but the British fighting against the other colonizers that was over there, and to try to make it seem that they had, that it was their right to have control. So they came up with that story. Yeah, hello, hi, Henu, rise and shine. How you doing? Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing that, I mean, that our ancestors, that's what their focus was on the school teacher, not going to no educational building that was created in Massachusetts, where people talking about what's the Illuminati? What's the Illuminati? Well, when you're a part of this education system, that is the Illuminati. The bachelor system goes back to the Skull and Bones. The Knights Templar, which were an order of the Catholics. So, and right now, you see what's going on with the Epstein file, but you don't see nobody coming out. And if you look up the word, to me, when you look at the word Epstein, it looks just like the word Apep or Apophis, what our ancestors called the negative side of nature. Why no one's talking about that? Everyone's talking about the Epstein files, but no one's talking about what's the origin of these beings, these Seba'un fiends that think that doing these things that they're gonna get Heka magical powers is it doesn't make sense, because when you go into the Amdawat, the Papyrus or the Shesh, because I know you're gonna say, oh, but paper started in the time of the Europeans. No, it did not. The ancestors called it the Shesh, that came from the lotus flower, but also represents resurrection, because all people can be able to resurrect by following my art, and even on the negative side you can resurrect, but unfortunately, if you don't tune, meaning have keeping your body together with the Hek and the Ku, you will be separated. And people that have experienced that and know what I'm talking about, knows that you don't want to experience the second death. So, like I said, the Nub is the word for gold, which our ancestors learned from the Anunnaki, and that's another isfet, a lie. But in the Bible, you think it's talking about the ancient days, and it's talking about the Anunnaki, that's what it's talking about. The woolly hair people that came here, and that the ones that studied gold, and the first ones to start agriculture. But unfortunately, at the time of Constantine and Eusebius is the one that changed days into years. When you read in the Astrohasis, it tells you, and the Numa Elisha, it tells you that these people lived thousands of years. And also the people of Egypt, Kemet, also gave reverence to the Anunnaki. That's like saying because Europeans are in power, that's like saying that every European is isfet and chaos. And that's unfortunate, that's not true. But the point I'm trying to make is that today, in the time we're in now, that you should try to go and do your search within now. Now you see how, which I already knew from since I was young, that these things were going on. This isfet and chaos was going on. That you have to now go within and get your answers, and how you do that is by going back to our ancient ancestors, the Neteru, which left the information for us. And that's a beautiful thing. Like the things I'm telling you about the Medu and the hieroglyphics, and the hieroglyphics which are also portals. which also can open up something that's already already inside of you. That these things are ancient. It's been here for a while, so it's not really, what I'm telling you is nothing really new. But it's new when our eyes are being blinded, like the same how Set blinded Heru. Our eyes been blinded right now, so you have to go to Yah, go to Tehuti, and we have and Tehuti has a podcast that you can sit down as a student and learn and find out that our ancestors they were students also, what the Greeks call gods, were student also to nature, which all of us came from, which is the waters of none or Nu, which in science it tells you that, which is the number one, which is hydrogen, which is the water. And also learned that when I was a student under Gabriel Yubo as well. So there is people out here that know that, materialist. It's not wrong having materialistic things, but that's not supposed to be your pinnacle. Your pinnacle is supposed to be is for you to find out that you are an immortal being, living a physical experience in a clot, in a body. And it's fortunate for some people, including me, that I was able to open the Sabbath door and go through and see the other side and know personally that you are an immortal being. And you don't only have 3 parts like they teach you in the Jewish writings. You have 9 parts to your soul, to your car and your bar. Yeah, so this, appreciate nature, because nature is our schoolmaster. Nature is our schoolmaster. And that had to take a lot of discipline and dedication for why don't I see the to text if I want to text. Maybe I didn't set it up properly to do that. I'm seeing text, but welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Yes, it's amazing that our ancestors dedicated themselves, even though they were very powerful beings that was able to extend their life, and also knew how to change their physical bodies. What we can do now in the resi, in the dream state, which is our or the upesh, is where we supposed to learn now how to resurrect, to walk, to setut, to walk. And that's what they're trying to prevent you from doing that. They want you to just to be like what they see in the Matrix, which the positive side really is the woman. She's the womb, the feminine energy, the car that gives birth. But now they turn the Matrix into something negative now, like you see in the movie Matrix. And I also made a song about it, because really it's represent. And I learned from Tehuti Podclass that is talking about Mark Kemet, which was the original name of Alexander, so-called Alexander, which his name was Ptolemy II. So I don't get it how a lot of these religious leaders today, they know these things, but they're using the heka, the magic. And don't say there's something wrong with magic, because in in your Bible, it tells you that the wise men, were magicians, magi, the magi, or the magi's. And also in the Bible, when it talks about before they was called prophets, they were called seers. Who are the seers that it's talking about? It's talking about the Pa'i, the pharaohs. I'm gonna try what you see. Why is it? I can't see why can't text? Yeah, the Pa'i means the house of the hands, right? That which is Nebtet and Oset. Because the feminine energy is what raised up the original story, what they plagiarized in the Bible. And don't think that I'm atheist. I'm far from that. The Turin Papyrus tells you, and when you go to to see it in Kemet, what they call now, what the Greeks call Egypt, it shows you that these people, our ancestors, the Neteru, were flesh, skin, and bones, which most people now have an agenda because they're being paid behind closed doors, or they are part of some kind of fraternity that they're not allowed to teach these things. Well, I'm not part of any fraternity or any organization, so I'm going to come out and tell you how it is unfiltered. And that's my goal for the children. You see what's happening now, what they're doing to the Sa and the Sat. I mean, the girl and the boys, what's going on now, trying to harbor they're being harbingers. They're possessing these children. And the original possession was petty, which is the seat. Just like in the religions, they talk about the Holy Ghost. Well, that's that it was taken from my ancestors, which is the car, being imbued with the ancestors, with Heru, with Tehuti, with Ptah. And these beings in the papyrus, in the Shesh, said that they were living beings. So take time and and appreciate life, nature, because that's how the one that we go to temples and synagogues and to worship learn. That's what they said they learned from, which is nature, which religions today are hiding, and it really doesn't make sense, because why are you hiding something that was given freely, which now they I think it's really wrong for them to take our ancestors and put them in museums, but that's to show you how this system, this cult, is really covered and plagiarizes our ancestors. Yeah, so I really enjoy talking about the internal life, and that you want your memory to live on. That's which is energy. Remember, if you took a chemistry, or which comes from Kemet also, class, it tells you that energy cannot be destroyed, created, or destroyed. It can only be transferred. So, and that's your second memory, your consciousness. You want your memory to be able to become that energy for your physical, your body, your car, your spirit, to transcend. And that's why our ancestors dedicated themselves to do that. When they got the story where you read about in Revelations, which was all written after so-called Jesus's death, which is really the story of Osar with Lazarus, which is Osar, which is my beloved, and the ones that know the truth, which was the first. That's my beloved Osar, the one that was raised from the dead by his wife, his sister, Oset, and Nebhet, and Ampu, which is the Neteru of the underworld, which all of us have to, all of us should be meditating and aligning yourself with whatever way you want to do it, with your breathing techniques or using the metal Neteru, because Tehuti also now has classes again, the magic classes, to teach you how to use the original letters, the alphabet. Alphabet is really ABC. Alpha and beta. That's they're telling you that it's all those words when it's only alpha and beta, right? The beginning and the end, right? Yeah. So these hieroglyphics are also can imbue you for you to open up your memory, your mehu, which they call the shakas, the sekef, the seven, to become a bak, to become like the eagle, and be able to fly. But it's unfortunate now that, like I said, these people that mostly care about materialistic things, you are using it for isfet and chaos, and it doesn't make any sense, man. They're using these things for isfet and chaos 24 hours a day with hypnosis, and they're the masses of propaganda to keep this envy. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me really. Why are they keeping this envy? For what? When our ancestors, what we gave was like the living waters of Nu. But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like some people, when they don't feel comfortable living in their own body, so they focus on other people to manipulate other people, and use the, or what you want to call so-called voodoo, which is not word of mouth, which is the ancient ancestors' information. Because if you remember, I have a lot of experience, but I remember when they used to come out of these movies and stuff like that, they show you the witch doctor. He's pushing needles in the doll and all that stuff, and then the person's the person is feeling it but now when you go back to the ancient writings, you find out that these things was used for healing. Them pushing in the certain areas was to heal the person from the ailments or the illnesses that they had. So that's why now I'm like a child. I'm saying my age. I'm 4 years old right now, because now I have to be retaught all over again now. Like Neo in the Matrix. When you go into when you see, like I saw, the afterlife, then you realize that you have everything that you was taught, you have to be taught all over again. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this is the thing that our ancestors made the teaching for our children to learn how to resurrect, to per hem haru, to be able to go, to take this consciousness that we have into the Neteru, into what do you call the afterlife, and that's what was And that was the main premises of our ancestors, of the Neteru, because of what happened to Osar, or what the Greeks called Osiris, which a lot of these, I'm talking to a lot of you people that's in these churches and religions, which are part of hidden organizations, but you're coming out and acting like you're a follower of Jesus and Muhammad and these things, and behind closed doors you're following the Neteru, but then you're twisting the story and then telling people that is Satan. And we did a class on that too, I think 2 weeks ago. If you check on Tehuti Podclass, we did a class on that, on the Church of Satan and Set. And these are all modern day terms that they keep trying to use isfet and chaos to confuse the people. Because according to the story, wait 1 second, all right? According to the story, the Papyrus, the Shesh, it tells you that that Set, which was the brother of Osar, and I sent in. I also give reciprocity and Hotep as well, because I want to keep. So when when I'm asking you to like and subscribe and to support this channel, I'm not saying it to get views. I don't care about views. I'm saying it because I'm trying to keep my connection with my ancestors. That was the reason why we gave offerings to Hotep, because we knew that the soul cannot die. It can experience a second death also, but that's what our ancestors told us about the story of Osar, and how Set, where now they're talking about, I believe in Satan, and Satan was one of the no. This is all part of propaganda you have to go into the Perhemeru, go into the Papyrus, and go and look and you tell me if you see in the Papyrus, anywhere in the ancient Papyrus, that you see that Set is called Satan, I'll give you $100. Because there's nowhere in there you're gonna see that. So what they do, they twist the stories to fit their agenda. And I believe this is the biggest espionage that's going on in the planet right now. Is that the indigenous people stories have been copied, and then they repackaged it and gave it to us again as religion and through psychedelics. So I've done ayahuasca, and the reason why I did it wasn't for entertainment purposes only. I did it because I was told that you can get a connection with the ancestors and with nature. So that's the reason why I did it. But most people are doing these things and for fun. Like people now, all of a sudden now, because weed is legal, now everybody is going crazy smoking weed. And if you're not doing it for it, I don't advise it because really you're just wasting your money. Because the real highs for you to connect with your ancestors is through following Ma'at. Following Anki and Ma'at, following Ma'at, which according to the ancestors, according to the Turin Papyrus, lived for 700 years. Yeah, yeah, a woman of color, a black woman, that lived that was living on the earth for 7,700 years. Yeah, that's what I believe, and that's what and I rather follow my ancestors than follow the Epstein files, people. So let me stay because I do that a lot. Sometimes my mind wanders because I know so much. I mean, which is only a little bit, and I only seen less than 1%. Yeah, so Set was the brother of Osar, and Set murdered his brother. And then, or Set, his sister, and Neptet are the one, and Ampu, his son, are the ones that are resurrecting him. She found the parts that was his parts, and then she through Heka magic. And I don't know how they did it, but that's to show you how. That's like asking me how did they build the Mur Aku, what you call the pyramids. I'm talking about the pyramids in Egypt, Kemet, which has 8 sides. If you do an aerial view, which is on the grid line, which all these temples across the world also knew of the resurrection of the immortality. Yeah. Anyway, so Set killed his brother Osar. And then Osset was able through Heka magic, which is a symbol of a Heka, which is a boy pointing to his mouth, because like you read in your Bible and read in your Quran, which were all plagiarized from the hieroglyphics, it says frequency is what gave birth. Sound, frequency, and light gave birth, which the mouth is a symbol of rain, which is Ra. Which we are just reflections. We're just reflections of light, because we are light beings, and that's what the Ku points to, which is a location. When you can go, you could check it out. Go on Tehuti Podclass, and you could check it out, because this is not up. I mean, you could debate it all you want, but when you go back to what our ancestors wrote. And you was able, and anybody was able to learn, and it wasn't just about money, which is really energy. Well, knew these things that I'm telling you right now. Yeah. So what happened in the story? Osset fled. She fled into what you call Africa. The same story of Joseph and Mary fleeing from Pilate, Herod. That they took that story from the Neteru. That was what Osset did after she was able to resurrect her husband and have a child and get pregnated and had a child. That's where they get the story of the Immaculate Conception from, which the Catholic Church, and really behind closed doors, can call themselves the God, which is they call themselves pharaohs. But what they do is, a lot of them, because a pharaoh will never go and sleep with a child. You go into the ancient papyrus and you show me where they was doing these things, drinking blood and all these things. What they're trying to do is they're trying to twist you and confuse you. That's why right now you got access to these archives and you can stream online and check for yourselves that our ancestors in Neteru were not a part of these things. And right now, the people that are doing that are the Christians. The people that are doing that are these religious people. They're the ones that's doing this. They're using it for the information, but then they're twisting it. And that's the same like I said before with Set. They change the word Set, and then they say, "Oh no, Set is really Satan." Huh? and saying it ain't no different, or these in our ancestors called them the Seba'u fiends, are no different than a person that's a drug dealer or a murderer, or someone that would steal and kill somebody for it, like what the colonizers did. They ain't no different than these people. Once when I upeshed, when I oop, which is the horn, and now they want to use the horn. The horn, this represents the ancestors, like I told you, the ancestors mastered nature, and he looked at how the bull uses its horns to defend itself against prey. They push their horns and rip the other animal that's trying to have it for its lunch. So we also do that as well. When you bar, when you echo, when you satut, when you may sakef, your who, what I said earlier is where they got the word, with this new age, the new age movement has become so popular from plagiarizing our ancestors. So yeah, so the bull pushes, you are the bull with the horns that pushing through these realms, these realms that your body has to echo, your body has to ripple. Just like if you get a stone, you throw it on the water, and it makes, and then you see those ripples in the water, those lines that double. That's what our body, this is what your bar inside you, which is just one of 9 parts of your body does at night. And when you're feeling these feelings that you feel insecure, just stay calm. Don't think that nobody's doing anything to you, because you're not really coming out of your body. You're just echoing. You're just making bubbles to come out of your body. So when you do these things, you can see things for yourself, and then you'll be able to know what I'm saying, and then you could come back, or you could text me and tell me, "Yo, Maru, yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, it happened. The same thing you said, it happened to me also." So the problem, that, like I told the guy earlier, is not a wrong. Everybody copies, but the problem is when you copy, and then you hide and lie and say that I'm the one that is the one that originated this. I'm the one that originated the light bulb. I'm the one that originated the roads. I'm the one that originated buildings. Oh, Jesus is the first one to resurrect from the dead. Huh? When these stories were written thousands and thousands of years before, in the BC period, these stories was written. And our ancestors, the Neteru, are the first ones, the first originators to teach you how to do that. Because that's what they had to do also. That's what they had to do. They had to do also, even though they was called, the Greeks called them gods. Yeah, so after Oset and Heru went and hid in the bulrushes from Set, because Set, her brother, wanted to be the leader, wanted to be the ruler. But fortunately, he nearly died also, because he was also bit by a snake. And it's funny though that if you go to a place and you see a snake, people are more terrified of a snake than they are of human beings. And human, when you look up the word in etymology, means those that oppose the gods. Who's the gods I told you, which were the Greeks or with the Neteru? They oppose that part of you that's inside of you, the consciousness, the Sekhet memory that's inside of you. They oppose that. Their God is money. Their God is gold. Their God is materialistic things. When we know these are just gifts from nature that we have. Because within you when you see who you and how you really are, this is what they're hiding in these fraternities from the 1700s. These are the things that they're hiding from you, how you really, your real image, the Tut. That Tutankhamun, that whole story was taken, they took that and put that in the book of Isaiah. The restoration. The restoration is what were the Par'is, the pharaohs, in Greek. But thanks to the 25,800 year cycle that we're in now, which our ancestors mapped out over there in South Africa. That's the original Stonehenge. The one in London is plagiarized. The original one that predates that one in Europe, that's the one where our ancestors knew astronomy. They knew the stars and everything. That's what everything was all aligned to immortality. Because really you are the star. You see, when you look up in the sky, you see that thing in the sky. That's really you. That's how you really look. Not the stars that you see on the news, on TV and in movies, which they're only these famous people only in the movies. when the myth means the renowned people, the people of renowned. Myth doesn't mean it's not real. It means the people are renowned because, like I said before, our ancestors, the Neteru, were able to live for thousands of years. These are the stories what you talk about in your books about angels is talking about them. Which you are. These are the things that they're hiding from you. Yeah, so Osset was able to resurrect Heru, and was able to train him to have a battle, the war in heaven, where you read in Revelations, like as if Geb, the earth, which is also a Netta, the custodian of this planet, which is in space right now. We're in Pet, in heaven right now. So that war that took place only lasted 80 years. 80 years it lasted. But when you read in the book of Revelations, which was written hundreds of years before Jesus, according to what the story, tells you that according to the hieroglyphics and the Perhemeru and the pyramid texts and all the other books that our ancestors wrote, and there's even more that they wrote, that these people are so, if black people are just just 3/5 of a man, why are you hiding the information about us? Why don't you copy it, but then you keep it for yourselves, and then you do it, you allow people to join it through a secret handshake into your fraternities, and you're using the same science and technology that our ancestors used, the Ben, to resurrect the person to see who they really are. Yeah, so the war only lasted 80 years, according to the original, the papyrus, the Shesh. Not 1,000 years. And his name was not Satan, it was Set. And you know how diabolical, why our ancestors called it isfet, is because when you read in the story, Set was the first one to defend against Apep. That's the negative side of nature, of what they call in Greek Apophis, in the underworld. Because why they say underworld is not to do with it doesn't have anything to do with anything evil. It just means to go when you go under. When you go through a door, you don't go on top of the door, you go under the door. So that's why they call it the underworld. You're going into the subatomic realm. Yeah, so Set was the first one to defeat I feel this feels so great talking about this, man. He was the first one to defeat the dragon. Like when you see on the shield in Europe in the medieval ages, George and the dragon, that's talking about Set. What these people, Church of Satan, that's trying to use the pharaohs, guess what? Yeah, they're following the Neteru and the hieroglyphics, but then they use it for isfet, for Apep. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, because our ancestors never did that. We defended against isfet, against what you so-called evil. Yeah, so so the reason why I said that this is isfet and chaos and Apep, because the original story is Set was the first one was able to defeat Apep. Because according to the story, Ray, which is the mouth, the symbol of the mouth, that frequency, also it says also the sun lived on earth. That's what according to the papyrus also. What you see in the sky, which you are as well. Every night every night when you go into your resi, into your dream state, that's where you go. Apep, Set was able to defeat him. So that's where they and what's so amazing about it, in the papyrus, it tells you his name was Micah. And who's Micah in the Bible? If anybody could text and tell me that there's 3 people here. Is there 3 people? Or it doesn't. But anyway, this is for the offspring anyway, for the children to know. But when you read it in the papyrus, it tells you that his another name for Set was Micah. Where in Revelations it said is Michael. So now they're dealing with the dual aspect now of yourself. Just like you have a positive side, you also have a negative side as well. And that has nothing to do with when Jesus comes back with all the horses, he's gonna be able to vanquish evil. That's impossible. That's polarity. That's polar energy. You have to have 180 degrees of negative, and you have 180 degrees of positive. You can balance it. That's what the house of ATTON, and that's what Tehuti is with dedication and the house of ATTON to teach you that, how to do that. So isn't that crazy though, that you put Satan fighting against Micah, and he was Micah, which is Michael, which is Set, and he cast. So you're saying he cast himself out of heaven? That if you go according to the original text, that's what you're saying. And these people were worshiping Set, saying, "Oh, Set is the worships. He's the worshiper, uh, which is Satan." And it's nonsense, man. It's really nonsense, because it tells you in the story, after the 80-year war, which he had against his nephew, Heru, that the land was divided, and that's why over there you see that those waters, that waterfall in Africa is divided. Yeah, the Neteru, what the Greeks call gods, they're the ones that separated that part of the land, and he gave part of it to Set, and part of it to Heru. And guess what? Neith, which is the mother, which is also the mother, was Mut. She's the one that told the Anunnaki, which was Astarte, which in all these movies, The Exorcist and all these movies, they make tell you that you being possessed, petty, which is the same as you being with the Holy Spirit, which is Ma'at, which is the car, the feminine energy. You can be imbued by that, because that's what you really are as well. So, well, what's that? You see? Oh, you have to be careful with these. Nesabidi. Yeah, the Nesu are the pharaohs. I know a lot of people don't want to hear what I'm talking about, but who cares what people think? Like I learned 2 days ago. You can have expectations with people, but you can, and that's it. And especially when it comes to people, they're unpredictable. Animals are more. Animals you can predict. Human beings you cannot. And especially in the time that we're living in now, with this isfet and chaos, is people think that, that have the fear of death, which is fire, earth, air, and water. R is for river, which is water. They have that fear, and that's what the system is using against us. So Anet and Astarte was given as brides, and if Set was not real, how was he giving wives? If he's just a principal, well, Set is just a principal. How is he giving wives? And that's another thing for this confusion going on too. Polygamy is before monogamy. But it's okay for you, it's weird that it's okay for you to go to a church or a temple and you can worship Muhammad and Jesus. But you can't look at the man as the image of the Creator as well. The same way you worship Jesus, the same way you're supposed to give your honor and henu and praise to a man. And the same thing for the man. The Neter, the female, she's also in the image of the Creator as well. She's supposed to be praised and honored as well. But remember, there was the pharaohs that they gave praise. The women, the Hemets. A true Hemet woman would give praise and honor to the image of the Creator, which is the man, master, able, and noble. So even though Anet and Astarte, what they call to get the word Astro from, which was the Anunnakis, the woolly hair people, the ancient of days, even though they were powerful, and that's where they got the hymn comes from. The shining light, where they twisted that and made it into Lucifer, which was Astarte, which was the female Netta, the goddess. So Neith, the mother, gave them to Set as wives to squash the beef, and she said if they didn't stop the war, that she was gonna send the heavens down on earth. And that's why now today, that's why now they're so afraid of when these asteroids and stuff appear. And most of the asteroids and stuff are named after the Egyptians, the Egyptian, so-called Egyptians, Netters. So why are these things that our ancestors taught the Greeks, and then the Greeks taught the Romans? Why are these things not being taught in school? I'll be afraid to send my child to school, since all these things that have been coming out. And you know, it's funny, even the children, when you first take them to school, they're crying and screaming because they know. they know, man. Like, my father is my protector. And we putting our trust in this system, and now you're seeing, which I already knew, that this education system is built on skull, which is the Skull and Bones, which is the Knights Templar, which is the Illuminati. Because the eye originally is the owl, which is ma'at, which is truth, which is observation, which is examination, which is judgment, which your car, your immortal soul, your immortal perfect soul, regardless of what you went through, and how you look, or you might look different from another person. Guess what? You're made perfect in the image of the Netters. The gods, when they come down, they look just like people, African people. And that's what you are when you come out, regardless of your race. When you follow your consciousness of Ma'at, and you're able to use the Ma'at, the eye, to see in the dream state, then you'll see what I'm saying. But these Europeans that know how to do this, like I told you before, they know these things, and they hit it and using it to have power. The WASP, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, this racism that they're using in the world today. So you know, pat yourself on the back that you made it this far, to this age, the 25,800 cycle of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, and that you know that this is the time where it go back, that what we've been waiting for, to go back to the way it is in heaven, as on earth as it is in heaven. The Neteru made these things not for us to be idolizing, but made these things, these monuments and temples and stuff like that, to imbue you, to keep that Saket memory of you being immortal. We're going back to that age again, where everyone's going to be paid for their fair wage, not a wage that you're given, that the system only gives, and only gives interest, saying that these so-called third world countries are free, but they don't control their currency. How are you free if you don't control your energy, your currency? Huh? They know that, you know, the rabbit is out of the hat now. The illusion is being broken now. That you could also use the Heka as well. You could use the magic as well, because we live in a magical world that we live in. Black magic is not a negative word. It's the blacks that did what magic did they do? That they was able to turn a stone, to dig in the earth and find a stone in the earth, and was able to turn it and to make it into, alter its composition, and make it into nub, make it into gold, which is also a symbol of who you are. You are the nub, you are the Heru, you are the light. that cometh forth by day. It's talking about you, which you can become. And you can become the Makaru, the true voice. And what's that? Speaking the Metaneta, which all over the world they have coveted. That's where the original language of China came from. Japan, all came from the original, which is the hieroglyphics. I know you want me to be quiet, but guess what? I'm not. And I'm gonna continue doing this. And my next, if I get some reciprocity support, I'll go into the hieroglyphics, the Metaneta, and show you what I'm telling you. I have one I did part 1 and part 2 called Who Are You? I went into about mental illness and how that is related to the second death that we experience, that people are experiencing on earth, what happened to Osar when he was chopped up into pieces. It's called Who Are You? I think I deleted the second one because I thought it wasn't that good, but I should have kept it because it was really good, because these doctors, they know that they don't have a cure for it. And they know the symptoms, and they know what is the cure. And what is the cure? Ma'at. That is the cure to mental illness. And like I said, no one could do anything to you. They could try to manipulate you and stuff like that. Nobody, no energy, nothing can appear. Anything you feeling intimidated by, they're really intimidated by you. Because you are the Per Hemeru, you are the light that shines in the Keko, in the darkness. Is you, the immortal light. What you see in what the ancestors called the Ryan, the seven stars, is you, where you come from, your home, your heaven. Which I have seen. Because prior to 4 years ago, I was diehard for a Christian. Until we spoke on I can't remember the guy's class, but when he taught against Jabari, as the big debate, talking about was it a debate, regardless, he explained it thoroughly and basically, like as if you're teaching a child, that our ancestors were living beings. What you call gods were living beings. And the ancient story is so vast, man. So it's not only taught. So the point that I'm trying to make, what our ancestors trying to make, is that the Savior is you. The Muhammad is you. It's not only a person that the Catholic Church, through one of his wives, is the one that started that, but it's talking about you. It's you, and the true religion is Ma'at, Anki and Ma'at. I live for Ma'at. The standard, which your soul, your ib, which is your heart, which is also part of your brain, and that's why we lead with the left, because the heart is on the left side. It had nothing to do with, but the reason why they're on the left, because they're following the left side of Satan, when Satan is set. So we lead with the left, because that's the part of your heart, your heart, which is also your brain. Part is also works just like your this brain here, the antet, and also you have your stomach has the same synapses and stuff which our ancestors call the second brain also, which scientists are talking about now and making it seem like they're the ones that came up with that, when no, our ancestors came up with that. You be careful, man. I want that thing to, that fly to now I'm seeing these flies. They be spitting at you, man. These flies over here, and they can burn your skin. So you know, it's just like these animals have protection. They've been born from the feminine energy to protect themselves. You need to start protecting yourself too. Your cart, the symbol of the cart is the tail of Set, which is a mace, which is a weapon. You have to protect yourself. Especially, I'm talking to you African, you so-called African people. Love yourself, man, because you're melanin in your skin, your woolly hair, because that's how the Neteru, the gods look like you, and all races, even the Europeans, even the Pope, which behind closed doors, even though the temple is an image of a serpent, which they like I said, they're using isfet and chaos to stay in power. They have the knowledge and the information, and they're worshiping the Neteru. Down in the underground, in the catacombs, and so also the Muslims as well. Those temples and all that is based on the feminine energy. So we're going back into that the feminine energy again as well. Back to how things were. No man can shed blood for you. Only the one that shed blood for you is the woman, is the female. She does that every month. According to the 28 cycle. John laid on the bosom of Jesus. The only bosom I'm laying on is a woman. I'm laying on no man's bosom. And no European, no colonized European, I mean the people in power. I'm not talking about all colonizers. I'm talking about the ones that's following this system. Cannot be your savior, cannot be your Jesus. And it's crazy. Even to this day, you still got people following Serapis, that white image, which is the son of Ptolemy, the Neos. When our ancestors worship the Neteru, Osad, the beloved Osad that raised from the dead, the one that is the judge in the underworld when you go under the door through the subtle doors, and Haru and Osed and Nebter, the ones that be on their tech boat. They're not like us. Like one day I'm a Neteru. I'm following the hieroglyphics, and then the next day you're in isfet and chaos and Apep, and you want to go against the consistency, the balance, to become lighter than a feather. When your ib is weighed on the scale of ma'at, when you go for the ma'ati. The eye is on the dollar bill. Yeah, the eye on the dollar bill is ma'at, which is also your eye, which you have 6 senses, not 5 senses, 6. When you count the parts of the eye of segment, which is the guardian of Ra. Which our ancestors do this 24 hours a day. When Ra goes to sleep at night in the underworld, he has to be protected. And even Set is there on the boat also. with his war's scepter to fight against Apep. So why would you say that our ancestors are isfet and chaos and evil, man? Even the Maasai people follow Ingia. You know who Ingia is? Ingia is Inki, one of the Anunnakis. The Igbo and all these things, these are all our ancestors. But we still wanna follow this system. White is pure. They're white and pure. When the sun is really black. The real color of the sun is black. And the first color of the sun is white. Which the people of Sudan, which were the original Coptics, which were the original Christians, and which was the original Vikings, the Berbers, which were the original Vikings, that ruled Europe. Yeah, we ruled Europe as well. So look at this as a time, because remember in the Neteru, time does not exist. Time is man-made, and a second cannot be a second. It has to be a first. Let's go back to stop for. Oh, wait a second. No, we're not following the second anymore. We're following the first now, which is the indigenous people. Go back to them, those immortal beings, those Marie. And that was one of the names of Egypt. It was called Ta Marie, the land of love. Because the Holy Spirit is sexual energy. But in religion they made you believe that sex is evil. when without your parents having intercourse, that holy marriage, you won't be here. How is that evil that through sex you could give birth, that through the feminine energy through a physical body you can give birth, man? And not only that, then if you're saying it's evil, sexual energy is evil, which is the car, which is feminine, then you're saying the trees are evil too. Then the water is evil. The animals are evil. Because all nature does that. So now, we have to take back your authority now, your authority which the ancestors left for you, written on stone by Yah. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Yah. When you read in the book of Enoch, where it says the angels had the name Yah on their foreheads, which are the Neteru, which is Tehuti, which the Greeks call Hermes or Thoth or Trimistus, whatever they want to come up with, which is the hieroglyphics, which is the Medu Neter, the divine words of the Neter. By you reading, it imbues you to and opens you up to find out and to see who you really are. Which, when you do these things, you will be able to see. With the sek met eye, with the Uwajit, you'll be able to see. So the issue now is that we all copy, but give credit, man. Give credit where credit's due, and stop using isfet and chaos. And what you have to realize, these people don't care. These ipstein, which is Apep, because the Apep files, which is the negative side of nature, is part of nature. This is the lion, and you see a lion attack a deer, rip its throat and tear off his head and eat him alive. That's part of nature. And these people know that, and they're just sitting back laughing at us. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're laughing at you because they don't care. They're being deceived and confused with isfet and chaos to think that Apep is really immortality, which is the gateway to the second death. Because you think Ra and the Neteru, which are defenders, are the masters of the universe, where you get He-Man from, the story. You think they're gonna allow you to go up into pet heaven, the fields of reeds, the Seket Aru, where you could create things from your imagination? You think they're gonna allow you to go up in there with that neg, with those negs, those parasites, these Seba'u fiends? You think they're gonna let you go up in there and no, these people are defenders. They're the defenders of heaven, pet heaven. That's the reason why the lake, which Oset Mary, where you get the word Mary from, yeah, Marie is written. She's the one that defends Ra, and she's the one that creates the lake of fire to protect. So that these negs and these parasites from Apep cannot reach certain gateways. So you have to defend. You, like I said before, you have to take on the mark, which is to protect yourself, the weapon, the mace weapon, and defend yourself. And the sleep state is just the playground, and they can't harm you because you're just echoing. You're just making doubles. You see how amazing our ancestors had this science down about attribute before the new age of attribute rejection stories, that they knew about these things, that nothing can happen to you. So don't be intimidated because these fraternities today know all these things, and they've been practicing it for a while, but they still want to continue in isfet and chaos and be worshippers of Apep. Don't be intimidated, because it's just because you're not aware of your consciousness. But just like me, I was into that beastly state, yeah, and they worshiping the beast. It doesn't make sense why people on the regular do these things. This isfet and chaos, which is Apep, doesn't care about you at all. He's a negative. Apep, the dragon, the snake, is the left hand side of nature. So don't allow anything to take you off your petty, your throne, your seat, your possession. Like when you get money, it's called your possession. Don't let nobody take that from you. We've been through this too many times for this to happen again now. So all you have to do right now is just sit back and eat your popcorn and see how this isfet and chaos plays out. Because something has a beginning, it has an end. And one of the greatest civilizations on the planet, which was Kemet, that lasted over 20,000 years, came to an end, but not in the sense of the car and the bar, what you call the spirit, because they still exist, and they also exist within you. It's gonna come to an end, so you should be happy for that. and put on your Haru eyes, man. Start following my art and start doing your observation. Like Tehuti says, like Sherlock Holmes. Start doing that. Start doing that again. And using your observation, doing your research, and always make sure that and give credit where credit's due, so people could go back and look at the information for themselves. Give credit to the ancestors, to the Neteru. Go back to the hieroglyphics, the original writings, and the Meda Netta, the divine words of Tehuti, Thoth. And be happy that Yah, the moon god, which is Tehuti, which was given the authority from Ptah, and Ptah also, where they get the story of Superman from, which was also a ruler in each so-called Egypt as well, according to the writings, Turin Papyrus, the Shesh. They want you to become them. I know it's unfortunate, that most people, all their focus is on is the United States. I mean that people are being abused. The Epstein files, people are being abused in these third world countries financially by these other people that are taking benefit from the interest rate, raising the interest rates on these countries that are innocent, and putting all these legalities of visas and stuff like that for them to go and travel to America. These innocent people, these people from third world countries that are beautiful people, man. But it's unfortunate that the people that's in power, they're able to get these visas just like this. And then you're finding out when they get these visas what they're doing. They're going to Thailand, they're going to Africa, and they're being Seba'o fiends. They're taking women's love and taking advantage of it. Like you see that Russian guy that was doing. Like I said before, sexual energy is nothing. That's part of nature. That feeling is the feeling of what you call in the Bible the truth, the Holy Spirit, which is the feminine energy. When you read in the book of Proverbs, which is Ma'at, that rebirthing energy that these people are taking advantage of, and are able to use their reciprocity however they feel like using it. Can change the books how they feel to do it, to change it. But I bet when you do it, they throw you straight in jail, right? But these people get away with everything all these things they get away with. And they're coming out and telling you what they're doing now. Yes, we are pedophiles. Yes, we eat people. We're the Chainsaw Massacre, but real. The real thing. Taking people's faces and putting it on themselves. There's a whole bunch of isfet and chaos, thinking that with Satan's they're gonna be an arch enemy with Satan, where there's no such thing. He said and set. The treaty was against his nephew was established through the marriage, like I told you, the Anunnaki, Astarte and Anan, and he fights on the Hotep boat against Apep. So that church is, and the person that started the church of Set is a CIA operative. And then his name's Michael something. I can't remember. So they're hoodwinking us, and you keep falling for the propaganda. Stop falling for the Simpsons, man. Stop falling for this fake news. That these soulless people, yeah, because when you following Apep, you're soulless. These soulless people want to keep this agenda going through envy and jealousy of people of color for no reason. Because people of color give freely. I've been traveling over here in Africa, and these people are beautiful people, man. Beautiful people. And the Sudanese people look just like the knights with the shining armor, the tall, dark, handsome people. Yeah. Originally it was them. Which other races can be also, but give the credit where credit is due. Stop being a hater, man. Stop being isfet and chaos. Especially you beautiful women with your woolly, beautiful 9 ether hair. Yeah, we need you, man. We need your support. We need you to take on your Neteru, become a so-called goddess, what the Greeks called you again. Because I handle and I praise my Neteru, my woman. Sometimes I know it's hard because of the way this isfet and chaos in this world is. But I try my best, and I try to stay focused on the light at the end of the tunnel. That what happens before you mutt, before you leave here, before you go back to your mother. The tuat, the vagina, the gateway back into the Neteru, back to heaven. So take the opportunity to follow my art now, because tomorrow's not promised, man. We're light as a feather. We could be here today and be gone in a first, not a second. You could be gone in the first. So Marie, love yourself like Marie, like Osset, Isis, what the Greeks called her, loved her husband Osar, what they call Osiris. And because without the woman, we would not know how to resurrect. If Marie never used her Heka, her magic, her technology to be able to resurrect Osar, we would not have a Per Hemaru. And if Set never did that, murder his brother, we would not know. That this world is just a shell. Shells that you can crack. The Sahu, which is the certain parts of the so-called choas, the sarcophagus that our ancestors went into to resurrect. It was imbued with magic for them to remember, to keep that conscious awareness, to resurrect, to become a Set, become a Heru, to become a Osset, a Marie, to become a Nebhet, to become like Neif, and to see with your own eyes. You will bear witness with your own eye, with your Seket eye, what I'm telling you. I know you don't like what I'm saying. I know you don't like it, but too bad. Because bad is part. You have good and you have bad. You have to balance it out. And stop thinking that some person's gonna come out the sky and change that. Yeah, so hopefully, so like and subscribe, and send some Hotep and reciprocity. So we can keep that connection with your if you have if you have ancestors like your mother or your parents that's still alive, and also the ones, and also your grandparents that's not here. Because remember, energy cannot be created or destroyed, and you should be, that should give you more hope now. Stop worrying and stop being in fear because of what these people, these Seba'u fiends, what you want to call demons. When the word demon, when you go and look at in the etymology dictionary, it means intelligent. These intelligent people on the left hand side, on the Apep side, are using this to blind you, blind your Haru, blind your eye, so you can't, and you have to ask Yah, Tehuti, to let you see, to be able to see. And that's how powerful our ancestors were, man. Imagine that Haru was blinded, and Tehuti Yah was able to restore his eye. And yes, I believe that. Why shouldn't I believe that? I only been here for just a moment in this physical body. And these stories of our ancestors living in this magical world that we're living in spoke about these things. So you rather believe in what the system of isfet and chaos and Apep and ipstein, the Apep files will tell you, rather than what our ancestors, our loving, beautiful ancestors, that these people in power, ancestors, used to sit at their feet and bow down and worship. Worship my art. You're gonna believe in these people that's hiding that from you. That behind closed doors, they're saying that they're worshiping Ma'at, but they're worshiping Isfet. And they have a choice to do that. But guess what? When they go into the Neteru, that's where they're gonna be judged. And people that have ears to hear and eyes to see know what I'm talking about, because they have seen it with their own eyes. And these things you can witness with your own eyes, because you are light. You are a light being living a physical experience. So I hope you start doing your exercising now. Because that's what this is, man. It's an exercise. Start taking care of yourself more. Stop waiting for someone to do that for you. Start believing now in you. That our ancestors mastered what you see outside of you, which you can do also. I just wonder why I can't see the messages. We're only seeing 1 second time duration. Time duration. Yeah, so this is my journey and this is my life, my Ankh. This is my tree of life that I'm trying to that we have to stay dedicated. We can't just do it. This is supposed to be a way that this is the way that we lived, because we knew that death and life is part of nature. And we have to treat it as so. Not going to a movie, not to watch a fake movie. People trying to act like the gods. People trying to act like the Heru, the Marvel, the DC and Marvel. The Haru is Heru, and our ancestors, they're the real heroes. Heru. Start going back. Start dedicating yourself to that. It's step by step. Try to to dedicate yourself to that. And know that the story is true. It's not no atheist. Atheist is made up because all the science, mathematics, and all came from what the Greeks called, what Pythagoras and Socrates and all these people call gods, which were living beings, which you are now in the image of. You are the image of that, the Tutankhamun. The restoration is you. This is the restoration now that you are becoming aware of who you are now. You know, I do when I'm being overwhelmed. I go and I lay down and I go into the state where I control my thoughts and my decisions. And through that darkness, whatever light you see, you zoom into that. And it will make you aware. That memory of how to get out of that situation. You will be able to do that. Okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah. I know Sabbath said not to do it. I mean, I did it before I met him anyway. But when I did take the ayahuasca, but not only the ayahuasca, since I was young, also I was able to setut, to walk in my dreams, in my dream state. But that really woke me up though. When I heard the feminine energy talk to me through me. Not like I not talk inside of me. That really woke me up. And how because when you take the ayahuasca, the thing is so disgusting, man. But what happens? It tricks your second brain, which is your stomach, your emotions, and makes it seem like you're dead. So you're able, your bar is able to project, to see, and you're able to see the electromagnetic energies that's around you. That you are. These things that they're saying that's external is really you, and that you're able to see the all-seeing, what they show you in the stupid Marvel and DC movies about the multi-universe. You are that multi-universe. It's you. You see it with your eyes, and these eyes become the floor that you walk on, which they tell you in these fake fraternities that are plagiarizing your ancestors, regardless of what color you are, stories which are true, and then you walk to a saw. And you see your lives that flash by you from before, like pictures. That right there woke me up. But you still need a guide, because also you can go into these realms and lose your soul, experience the second death. So you need a guide when you do these things. Don't just people that's doing these things. I mean, it's good to understand and to know, but you need a guide to teach you that who take it back to the original source, which is Tehuti, which is the teacher, which is the Neteru. And then you realize what these things they wrote in the Perhimaru. These things they wrote on the coffin, the choas, that these people in power was eating. They knew how precious it was, that they were so ignorant, means to turn away. They was eating the flesh, like you hear about they're doing now. It's crazy, because you're supposed to be Unas. The story of Unas, when he went into when he per Hemaru, when he became Haru, it says he ate. It's not talking about eating. It's talking about like the vulture. The vulture eats dead carcass. It's talking about the state, that state of being, because you're no longer in a physical state. Now you're eating the the space time, the space time continuum. you that's what you're digesting, and that's what you're breathing. Yeah, and you can, yes, in the afterlife you can breathe. And I've experienced life, and I've experienced death, and be honest with you, most of the people that I've seen that died with me, and even my mother, you go into a trance, into a yeah, like a trance you go into. I've never seen nobody really suffer, even though you go into the mutt. But you go back to because you're getting older, you're really becoming young again. We say twice a child. Was it once a child, twice a child? Because you're going back to your mother again. You're going back into the womb again, into the, like Tehuti showed in one of the classes about the ankh, the tree, which is the shesh, which is the lotus flower, that revolution, which is the papyrus when you rolled out the scrolls. You'll be able to see that tunnel that you go through, and you're guided when you go out there as well. If you're able to attune, to keep your body, and don't let your soul become your bar to be separated. Because just like here, how people are taking advantage of you here, when you go out there, when you have your final ejaculation, your final eject, when you eject, because that's what the word ejaculation means, to eject. When you eject out of your body, those seba'u fiends are waiting for you, because of your light and your energy, your thoughts. That's why you have to control. You have to peka mku, separate from your negative thoughts, because the way you think is what you're going to attract when you go out there as a light being, as a speed of light, the greyhound, which is ampu, one of the netters. And start. Look at yourself. We're all unique. But there's so many people in the system that are copycats. They're not comfortable with being in their own body. They want to what's it called? The people saying now they're trying to take over people's souls, and that's the reason why they're doing that to the beautiful, innocent Sa and Kat children, because they think if they pass, they can the person that they're doing that to, that they could take over, they could possess their body and go into their body. There's a movie called The Harlequin. It shows you in that movie as well. But it also shows you in the no, it don't show you that, but I mean it shows you how people can come out there, can walk out of their body. So just because just as we think that we're the lost boys, these people that's in power, they're gonna be there. That's the table's gonna turn on them as well. In this 25,800 cycle that we're in. So come, if you're interested, come to Tehuti Podclass and come and sit for yourself. We got classes going back over 2 years, and I know that the classes are long. You could skip it to like an hour if you don't want to hear his biography, what he talks about himself, and then you can go into the reciprocity and the questions that, and you can look for certain answers and questions that you like, or if you want that question answered, send in reciprocity, send in Hotep, which is the altar with the food on top, because remember it's a two-way. As above, so below. So above, below is above, which is called another name for Egypt was Smawi Tawi, as above, so below. So you could keep that connection with your ancestors, and also you could be the golden shard, the nub, the Heru for your lineage. Because I remember when Tehuti taught me how to upesh in my dreams, so-called rezi, what our ancestors call it. I saw my ancestors come to me. So you also could be your Heru, your light for them as well. And especially the women, because a woman has a womb. The woman's the story, the original story is taken of the Savior is taken from the woman. Because she's the one that gives birth to the Sa and to the Sat, to the child, the male and female child. And without Marie or Set, Isis, and Nefertiti, I keep pronouncing her name wrong, but Nefertiti, which has the bowl on her head, is the one that raises your energy, your dijed, which is your spinal cord. So that you can resurrect. The car with the hands up. With the hands up is a symbol of the car, the spirit. Because that's what happens, you're going up. Or down, it's the same thing. Which is the Mesu, which is Heru, which that's where they get the compass from. So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna start doing this more, and I'll start going more in detail, because it's even though you might not be as eloquent as others, but as being yourself and being, and just being you, it can also attract people that can relate to that part of you, for that person, even if it's one. And for me, it's Nefer. It's beautiful. It's for the fan. It's like when you outside and someone's fanning you, or you under that shade, the shadow, which is you also. It's part of your soul as well. Your shadow. It's part of the 9 parts of your soul as well. Nothing can quench that feeling, man, of knowing that you are a mortal being experiencing a physical experience. So again, if you're interested, Tehuti Podclass is, and also if you go to Killah Priest show today, Tehuti he's teaching today. And you tell me if you see any. You tell me in regards to other people, he's not using no Jewish Kabbalah that was created in the 1500s. I remember yesterday because I heard the Earth was hit with a lot of solar rays yesterday. I started actually seeing fractals, like, and a voice said, in my voice said to me, go and look at the flower of life. And then when I did look at it, I realized, yeah, that's part of the interconnection with the whole, which this whole entire world and universe is interconnected, like the flower of life, what they originally found in Abydos, what the Greek term in Egypt. Which you are. Yeah, so he's on Killer Priest show today. I don't know what he's going over, what the subject is. If someone sent in money, the reciprocity to answer the question, which he will answer according to what the indigenous people spoke and what they wrote down. And thanks Henu to all our ancestors, man. Thanks to them that we know these things. And thanks to nature that is our teacher. Yeah, so check it out today. The class should be really in to enlighten you. Enter the enlightenment, which is within you. Like because the book of Proverbs and Psalms is taken from Amenhotep. If you didn't know that, the pharaohs, the Par'is, it's word for word, and there's so many. I know you. If you like the Psalms, you will like the Papyrus and the Shesh, because it goes more, even more in depth. They're just giving us a basic part of it, but when you go more in depth into these informations. And a lot of this stuff you can download. You can download the Pearl Hemaru. A lot of these Papyrus and the Shesh you can download. But like I said before, you need a guide. Even if you could see and see these things, you need a guide like Tehuti to guide you. And that's what I'm trying. That's what I want to be too. I want to be a servant to you, Saba, because I'm a servant to Saba, and I want to also be a servant to you, but with reciprocity though. Nobody does anything for free, because it's a two-way street, and we're in this you know. I mean, it's gonna be they had workers and all that back then in the kingdom of heaven that was on earth as well, which they try to demonize, which you call Egypt, and people worked and all of that, all their work and stuff represented immortality. The heck and the cool agriculture, yeah. All of that, what they did represented to keep the balance of us knowing that we are immortal beings, and that we're the nine. When you look at people, melanated people's hair, it curls into a 9. You are the 9. You have the 9 parts of your soul, which also is the Pa'ut, which are also the Ennead, what they call the Ennead, which is the ones that are the ones that help and defend against Apep, these negs. So if you have any questions and stuff like that, you can also leave in the comments. Or if you want to do a one-to-one, we could do that also. And also check out Tehuti Podclass, his magic classes as well that he has now. I think the reciprocity is only like $25 for each class. And these classes, I've done them. I've been in the classes that he did before, which is 66, and those 66 classes, which were on another level, man. Every time I did it, I always was able to wake up in the upesh in the dream state, and was able to use Ma'at's eye to investigate and to be able to bring that information back, the seket memory back to me. So I will end it the same way the House of ATTON, which I'm a part of, which Tehuti says, and hopefully I will do this again. So it's Anki and Ma'at, Un NS, Ninte Oset and Ma'at, Min Hepepet and Ma'at, Her and Hu, Kui, Per Ikut. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. I advance towards Ma'at. My being, I always advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. So Henu and peace. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is the food for your thoughts. Not only your second brain, your emotions, your reptilian fight or flight part of you, but your seket, your the utet memory that lives beyond this physical existence, which is really the beginning. We're not solid, like Tehuti said, we're not solid liquids and gas. We're the opposite. We're gas, liquids, and solids. We was a gas, then we became a liquid, then we became a solid into this physical realm that we're in right now. So Henu, praise you, and dua, and thank you for watching, Tua, and watching, and I hope we can and if you enjoyed this shesh that we had, please you can support, send a support, and you can like and subscribe. All right, peace from the heart, from the ib. Peace.